They were sending me somewhere else. The Greens had been the closest thing I knew to home. Not perfect, not permanent, but steady. And suddenly, that steadiness was gone. I didn't understand why. I only knew I was leaving. Everything familiar stayed exactly where it had always been. The streets, the smells, the routines, but it all felt like it belonged to someone else now. Like I had stepped out of my own life and couldn't find my way back into it. I packed my suitcase slowly, hands unsteady. I tried to hold on to small things. Mrs. Salicia's tacos drifting through the air. The King's ribbon candy that twisted like little works of art. Afternoons that felt endless. From my dresser, I picked up a photograph. Me at 3 or 4, sitting on Santa's lap, wearing a navy coat and smiling like everything in the world made sense. I held on to that picture longer than anything else. Then I left. The new family was the Halls. I didn't know them, not really. But I was expected to start over as if that were something simple, like opening a new book and forgetting the one before it. Shirley Ann Hall. That was my name now. We lived in Hawthorne, a place that felt both far away and too close at the same time. My new parents were both attorneys. Their lives were busy, structured, full. Mrs. Hall kept her distance. She spoke to me when she needed to, but there was something careful in the way she looked at me, like she wasn't sure what to do with me yet. Once she said, "We were hoping for a younger girl, but you're already here, and we'll make it work." Mr. Hall was different. He was patient, warm. On my first day, he showed me the backyard, the pond, the small bridge, the winding stone path that led somewhere hidden behind the bushes. "This is your house now," he said. "We've been waiting a long time for a little girl like you." I wanted to believe him. My brothers, David and Paul, helped too. They turned everything into a game, hide and seek behind the bushes. Laughter spilling out in quiet bursts so we wouldn't be found. For a while, it felt like maybe I could belong here. My room was bright and full of things I didn't expect. A yellow canopy bed. Books I couldn't yet read but wanted to. A desk where I tried to draw what I couldn't explain. A small camera that made me feel like I could capture moments before they disappeared. And Flopper, my patchwork bear, stayed close. My one piece of continuity in a world that kept shifting. We went to Disneyland. It felt like stepping into another reality. Colors too bright, music always playing, everything designed to feel magical. But underneath that, something else stirred. The ride scared me. The height, the speed, the feeling of falling. I didn't trust it. Not completely. Still, I went along. I laughed when everyone else laughed. I screamed when they did. And somewhere in all of that noise and motion, something began to shift. We were becoming something like a family, or at least trying to. I wore Mickey Mouse ears and held a giant swirl lollipop that turned my tongue bright blue. I smiled like I belonged there. A couple of months later, I started school. At Hawthorne Christian School, everything felt structured in a way I didn't understand. Rules I hadn't learned yet. Expectations no one had explained. On the first day, we had show and tell. A boy stood up with a worn baseball mitt, talking about it like it was the most important thing in the world. I watched him. I waited for him to stop. He didn't. When no one was looking, I took it. I didn't think of it as stealing. Not exactly. I told myself I would give it back later. I just wanted the talking to stop. I wanted control over something. But when he realized it was missing, everything changed. I hid the mitt under the teacher's desk. When they asked me about it, I said nothing. I felt something. Guilt, maybe. But it was buried under something stronger. A need to hold on to whatever that feeling was. Things escalated quickly after that. The next day, I brought something from home I shouldn't have. When questioned, I made up an explanation that didn't make much sense, even to me. By the end of the week, everything unraveled. I reacted without thinking. I pushed boundaries I didn't understand. And when another child blocked my way, I responded in a way I couldn't take back. That was enough. By the 5th day of kindergarten, I was expelled. At home, the tension grew heavier. Mr. Hall tried to guide me. "Don't be so rambunctious," he said, then explained what it meant when I didn't understand. Too loud, too wild. I didn't know how to be anything else. My brothers tried to help, pulling me into games, redirecting my energy. But it wasn't enough. One day, everything came to a point. "If she does one more thing," Mrs. Hall said, "she has to go, or I will." On the 4th of July, I sat on the curb in our cul-de-sac. Fireworks filled the sky, bursts of color folding into the night, loud enough to shake the ground beneath me. Everyone around me seemed to understand the rhythm of it, the excitement, the celebration. I tried to follow. I held sparklers carefully, learning how to keep them at a distance, how to move with them instead of against them. Then something went wrong. One of the neighbors was hurt during the chaos. It happened quickly, too quickly for me to understand in the moment. But the reaction, the sudden shift from excitement to concern, stayed with me. The night didn't feel the same after that. From then on, fireworks were never just beautiful. They were unpredictable. I didn't understand the weight of that. Not fully. I didn't know what counted as one more thing, until I crossed that line without realizing it was there. I took my brother's lunch money. To me, it felt like a small act, a moment, a choice. But to them, it was something else entirely. And just like that, everything was at risk again.